Thanks, Prime Minister. Prime Minister, should Brits prepare for nuclear war?
Say that again.
Should Brits prepare for nuclear war?
Look, there's irresponsible rhetoric coming from Russia, and that is not going to deter our support for Ukraine. We're now on day 1,000 of that conflict. That's 1,000 days of Russian aggression, 1,000 days of sacrifice in Ukraine. We have stood with Ukraine from the start, and I've been doubling down in my clear message that we need to ensure that Ukraine has what is needed for as long as is needed to win this war against Putin. Michael.
Thank you, Prime Minister. Why is your Rural Affairs Minister suggesting that farmers can avoid paying inheritance tax if they plan properly? Isn't this proof that your policy is hurting British farmers?
Look, on the question of farming, I think it's important I just restate that firstly, £5 billion was set aside in the budget over the next 2 years for farming. That is the single biggest amount of money into farming and sustainable food production that has ever been set aside in any budget ever. So that's a real statement of intent in terms of supporting farmers. There's also money to deal with flooding, which is a huge problem for farmers, and money to deal with the outbreak of disease, which can be catastrophic for farmers if they lose their livestock. On the question of inheritance tax, the example I've given is a typical example of parents wanting to pass on a farm to one of their children. And in those cases, when you look at all the thresholds available, that means that only farms over the value of £3 million will be affected by the changes, and therefore the vast majority of farms will be unaffected. And those that are affected will only pay half the inheritance tax that other people pay, 20%, and they will have a 10-year period over which to pay it. And so that's why I'm very confident in saying that the vast majority will not be affected. How farmers then arrange their affairs within their family is obviously a matter for them. Thank you.